Imagine this. You walk into your kitchen tonight. You open your refrigerator. You see leftovers from yesterday, perfectly good food. So you do what you've done your entire life. You reheat it, you eat it, you move on. Simple, practical, normal. But what if I told you that one small habit, something you do every single week without thinking, could be quietly exposing your body to compounds linked to inflammation, toxin buildup, and long-term cellular damage? Not instantly, not dramatically, but slowly, repeatedly, silently. And the most dangerous part? Your body doesn't warn you. Especially one organ, your pancreas. The same organ deeply involved in blood sugar control, digestion, and yes, one of the most aggressive cancers known today, pancreatic cancer. By the time symptoms appear, it's often already too late. Now, before you panic, this is not about fear, this is about awareness. Because today, I'm going to show you 5 common foods you should never reheat the wrong way, what actually happens to them chemically, and how to protect yourself without throwing away your food. And trust me, at least 3 of these foods are in your fridge right now. Let's start with the one that will shock you the most. Food number 1, reheated fried foods. Picture this. Last night, you ordered takeout. Crispy fries, fried chicken, maybe some spring rolls. You couldn't finish it, so you saved it. Today, you take it out, throw it into a pan, add a little oil to bring it back to life. Sounds harmless, right? This is where things start to go wrong. What really happens? Most frying oils, like sunflower oil, soybean oil, and corn oil, are highly sensitive to heat. The first time you cook them, they already begin to break down. But the second time, that's when the damage accelerates. When reheated, these oils undergo oxidation, a chemical reaction that produces harmful byproducts like aldehydes, lipid peroxides, free radicals. These compounds are unstable, and inside your body, they behave like microscopic sparks. They interact with your cells, they trigger inflammation, they increase oxidative stress. Over time, repeated exposure to these compounds has been associated with cellular damage and chronic inflammation, 2 key factors involved in long-term disease development. Your pancreas is extremely sensitive to inflammatory stress. It plays a critical role in digestive enzyme production, blood sugar regulation, and hormonal balance. When your body constantly deals with oxidative stress from your diet, it creates a low-grade inflammatory environment. And your pancreas gets pulled into that response, not once, but over and over again, week after week, year after year. Let me ask you something honestly. How many times this week did you reheat? Fries, fried chicken, nuggets, or any deep-fried leftovers? Once? Twice? More? Most people don't even think about it. That's exactly why it matters. The worst thing you can do is reheat fried food in oil again. Because now you're stacking damage on top of damage. Old degraded oil, new heated oil, double oxidation. It's like restarting a chemical reaction that should have ended yesterday. You don't need to throw your food away. You just need to change how you reheat it. Use an oven around 180 Ttom. Use an air fryer. Use dry heat. No added oil. This restores texture without triggering additional chemical breakdown. Simple rule, fried oil is single use. Once it's been heated and cooled, it's done. No reusing, no reheating in it again. This isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. Because the difference between just reheating leftovers and repeated exposure to oxidized compounds is something most people were never taught. And now, get ready. Because the next food on this list is something almost every healthy eating expert tells you to eat more of. And yet, reheating it the wrong way can completely change what it does inside your body. Now here's where things take an unexpected turn, because the next food on this list is something you've probably been told to eat more of your entire life, something labeled as clean, healthy, essential. And yet, the way most people reheat it may completely change what it does inside the body. Food number 2, reheated leafy greens. Picture this, it's Sunday evening. You decide to eat healthy this week. So you cook a fresh batch of spinach, kale, maybe some sautéed greens with garlic and olive oil. It looks amazing. It smells amazing. You feel proud of yourself. You store the leftovers in the fridge. Next day, you take them out. Microwave for 60 to 90 seconds. Eat. Nothing seems wrong. Same taste, same texture, same smell. But inside, something has changed. What actually happens? leafy greens naturally contain compounds called nitrates. On their own, completely harmless. In fact, they can even be beneficial for blood flow and heart health. But here's where the process changes. When cooked greens sit in the fridge, natural bacteria begin converting nitrates into nitrites, still not a big problem. But when you apply heat again, those nitrites can react with proteins to form compounds called nitrosamines. And this is where things get serious. Why this matters. Nitrosamines have been studied extensively in relation to cancer risk. Organizations like the World Health Organization and global research bodies have identified certain nitrosamines as potential carcinogens. Now, let's be clear. This does not mean eating reheated spinach will directly cause pancreatic cancer. But repeated exposure to harmful compounds over long periods can contribute to DNA stress, oxidative damage, and cellular dysfunction. And that's the real concern. What's happening inside your body? Think of your DNA like a blueprint. Every cell in your body depends on it to function correctly. Now imagine tiny chemical disturbances happening again and again over time, not enough to cause immediate damage, but enough to slowly increase the chances of mistakes. That's how long-term risk builds. Quietly, gradually, without warning. Let's take a look at a reality check. Let me ask you something honestly. How often do you cook a large batch of vegetables, store them, reheat them over the next 2 to 3 days? For most people, that's normal weekly behavior. And again, this isn't about fear. It's about how you handle the food after cooking. Now here is what you should do instead. You don't have to stop eating leafy greens. In fact, you should absolutely keep eating them. Just adjust how you use them. Eat cooked greens fresh whenever possible. If storing, eat them cold in salads, wraps, or bowls. Avoid repeated reheating cycles. If you must reheat, do it only once, because each additional heating cycle increases chemical changes. Let's follow one simple rule. Cook what you need, store leftovers safely, reheat only once, or eat cold. Now, the next food is even more surprising, because it looks completely harmless. No smell, no warning signs, no visible danger, and yet, it's one of the most common causes of food-related illness worldwide. Food number 3, reheated rice. Think about this. You cook a big pot of rice because it's easy, efficient, saves time. You store it in the fridge, and then over the next few days, you reheat it again and again. This is normal in millions of homes. But here's what most people don't know. The risk with rice doesn't start when you reheat it. It starts the moment it begins to cool. The hidden factor. Raw rice can contain spores of a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. These spores are incredibly tough. Cooking rice kills most bacteria, but not these spores. They survive, dormant, invisible, waiting. What happens next as your rice cools at room temperature? Those spores activate, they multiply, and they begin producing toxins. Here's the critical part. Some of these toxins are heat resistant, which means even if you reheat the rice later, the toxins can remain. This is why people sometimes get food poisoning, stomach cramps, vomiting, or diarrhea. But here's something even more important. You don't always get severe symptoms. Sometimes it's low-level exposure, subtle, easy to ignore. Your gut and your pancreas are closely connected. When your gut experiences repeated irritation, your entire digestive system responds. Right now, think about the rice in your fridge. How long has it been there? 1 day, 3 days, longer. Be honest, most people keep rice too long. The biggest mistake, leaving rice at room temperature for too long. That's when bacteria multiply. Here are simple rules. Cool rice quickly, store it in the fridge, and eat within 24 hours. Reheat thoroughly until steaming hot and never reheat more than once. Pro tip, spread rice in a thin layer while cooling. This reduces bacterial growth. Rice isn't dangerous. Bad handling is. You're already ahead of most people. Next, we move to chicken and potatoes. One involves a hidden danger from a common appliance. If you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently about your food. But the next 2 foods, these are the ones that affect people the most. Because they are eaten everywhere, every day, without a second thought. Food number 4, reheated chicken. Let's set the scene. You cooked chicken last night, perfectly done, golden, juicy. You store it. Next day, you take it out, put it in the microwave, heat for 2 minutes. You touch the outside. It feels hot, so you assume it's ready. This is where the risk begins. Microwaves heat food unevenly. They excite water molecules, but not all parts of food have the same structure. So what happens? Some areas get very hot, others stay relatively cool. These are called cold spots. Cold spots can allow bacteria to survive, especially if the food was not stored properly, exposed to contamination. Common bacteria linked to chicken include Salmonella, Campylobacter. If reheating is uneven, these bacteria may not be fully eliminated. The real risk. This doesn't always lead to severe illness. Sometimes it does. But often, it leads to mild digestive stress, repeated exposure, low-level inflammation, and again, your digestive system and pancreas stay involved in that response. Reality check. When you reheat chicken, do you check inside thoroughly or just touch the outside? That difference matters more than you think. What you should do instead: use an oven, best option. Cover with foil for even heating. Heat thoroughly. Inside must be hot. If using a microwave, cut into smaller pieces, stir or flip halfway, let it rest for 2 minutes. Or eat it cold, like in salads or wraps. Simple rule: if it's not hot all the way through, it's not ready. Now the final food. And this one is unique because it carries 2 separate risks at the same time. Food number 5, reheated potatoes. Think about roasted potatoes. Crispy outside, soft inside. You save them. Next day, you reheat them, maybe even refry them. This is extremely common, and this is where 2 things happen. Risk number 1, high heat compounds. When starchy foods are heated at high temperatures, they can form compounds like acrylamide. This compound has been studied for its potential link to cancer risk, especially when foods are overcooked, burned, or reheated at high temperatures. Risk number 2, starch changes. When potatoes cool, some starch converts into resistant starch. This is beneficial. It helps blood sugar control and gut health. But when reheated at high heat, that benefit can be reduced. Why this matters: repeated spikes in blood sugar, repeated stress on insulin production, over time. This affects metabolic health, and your pancreas plays a central role in that process. Reality check. How often do you reheat potatoes, refry them, or eat them multiple times after cooking? Most people do this regularly. The biggest mistake: refrying already cooked potatoes. This combines high heat, oil oxidation, and compound formation. What you should do instead: eat cold in a potato salad. Reheat gently on low heat. Avoid burning or crisping again. Final message. Now let me leave you with this. If you've been doing these things for years, you are not damaged. You are not too late. The human body is incredibly resilient. It repairs, it adapts, it recovers. What matters is what you do next. Simple recap. Fried food: reheat dry, not in oil. Greens: eat fresh or cold. Rice: store properly, reheat once. Chicken: heat evenly, no cold spots. Potatoes: avoid high heat reheating. Tonight, when you open your fridge, you'll see the same food, but you won't see it the same way. And that one shift in awareness, that's how real change starts. I'm Dr. Bianca. If this helped you, share it with someone you care about, because the smallest habits, repeated daily, shape your future more than anything else.